Namaste children, welcome back to another session of our chapter, that is nutrition in animals. So far in this lesson, nutrition in animals, we came to know that it's very much important to digest the food material in case of animals. Yes, and the mode of nutrition in animals is the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, because they cannot prepare their own food same like plants. We covered the role of enzymes in the digestion of food material, different types of heterotrophic nutrition starting with the hologenic nutrition, saprophytic nutrition, parasitic nutrition, and even symbiotic or mutualistic nutritions. And the steps that are involved in the hologenic nutrition, the first step is ingestion, which means taking the food inside the body, followed by digestion, breakdown of the food, absorption, taking the food or absorbing the food inside the bloodstream, assimilation. Yes, so now the absorbed food is assembled in the cells for the energy production, and the last one is egestion, removal of the undigested food material. So when you will observe the digestive system in human beings, the digestive system starts always with an opening called mouth and ends with an opening called anus. So in between this mouth to anus, several organs are present. All the organs, they are doing a vital role in their digestion process. Okay, and all together, all the organs together, it is called as an alimentary canal. So in the digestive system, the first one, if you will see, the tongue, which is a muscular organ present in digesting the food. Teeth are also helpful in chewing the food properly. Yes, there are 4 different types of teeth that are present, starting with incisors, canines, molars, and premolars. Salivary glands are secreting a specialized enzyme that is called salivary amylase, which acts on the carbohydrates and breaks them into simple forms, that is either sucrose or maltose forms, and then it is swallowed. So even we completed starch test in our class. So once the food it is swallowed, now food it enters into the food pipe. In the food pipe we can see the wavy movements, which we are saying as a peristaltic movements. The wavy movements in the food pipe are called as peristaltic movements. So due to peristaltic movements, now the food material it moves from the esophagus to stomach, where in the stomach the actual digestion of food material will occur. It is storing for 4 to 5 hours. So the semi digested food in the stomach, or the partially digested food in the stomach, we are calling it as a chyme. So if you will see the stomach, the walls of the stomach, the inner walls of the stomach, they are secreting a juice that is called gastric juice. So now this gastric juice, it is containing 2 parts. One is HCl, that is dilute HCl, and the second one is digestive enzymes. Dilute HCl always tries to kill the microbes that are present in the food material and tries to maintain the acidic levels in the stomach. When it comes to digestive enzymes, these digestive enzymes like pepsinogen, trypsin, they are present. Now this HCl, it is acting on the pepsinogen and changing this into active pepsin. So now this active pepsin, it is acting on the proteins of the food and breaking them into peptides or peptones. So now on that peptides and peptones, trypsin is acting and breaking them into smallest parts, that is your amino acids. Okay, so now after the liver, if you will see, after the stomach, as it is secreting HCl and some of the digestive juices, it is partially digesting the food, and the partially digested food in the stomach, it is called a name with chyme. So now the chyme from the stomach, slowly it is entering into the small intestine walls, where in the small intestine, the intestine walls are secreting an enzymes called intestinal enzymes. Okay, and from the pancreas again some enzymes will come, which we are calling it as a pancreatic enzymes. And even from the bile also, the non-enzymatic juice it will come, that is called bile juice. So bile, what I said, it is a juice, but it is a non-enzymatic juice which is secreted from the liver. Liver, it is present towards the right side on the topmost of your lower abdomen region, and this liver, it is the largest gland that is present in our body, which is secreting some juices that are called your bile juices. Bile juices, for temporarily they will store in the gallbladder, and whenever the food it arrives into the small intestine region from the gallbladder, now bile juice, it is released there. And this bile juice, it is a non-enzymatic juice, it don't have any enzymes in it. Liver is the largest gland, and bile juice is the only non-enzymatic juice that is secreted in our body. So now this bile, it is acting on the fats or lipid molecules present in our food and converting that lipids into tiny fat particles. Okay, and the intestinal wall secreting some of the enzymes like um, lipase, peptidase, which are acting on the peptides and breaking them into smaller form. Like this, if you will see here, you can able to identify that small intestine, it is releasing some of the enzymes like peptidases, sucrase, maltase and lactase. So your peptidase, they are acting on the proteins, they are acting on the peptides. Already peptides are present in the stomach region itself, they are acting on the peptides and breaking them into smaller parts, amino acids. Whereas sucrase, lactase, these two are acting on the carbohydrates present in the food and completely digesting them, and lactase, it is acting on the lipids. So now in this intestine region, along with these intestinal enzymes, pancreatic juice will also get mixed. So in this pancreatic juice, if you will see, again you are able to identify the pancreatic amylase, which is completely digesting the food in a form that is called your glucose. The semi-digested carbohydrate form or the complete digested carbohydrate form, we are calling it as a glucose. Okay, so now after okay, so now from the pancreas, again the juices, they are containing protease enzyme and lipase enzyme, which are acting on the peptides and breaking them into amino acids. Lipase is acting on the tiny droplets which are formed by the bile juice and acting on that tiny droplets and making them into fat globules. So here this gives a clear idea about all the digestive enzymes that are secreted in our digestive system, starting from the salivary glands, that is salivary amylase. After that, gastric juice, where proteases are present, and trypsin, pepsinogen are also present. Pancreatic enzymes like your proteases, peptidases, lipase, pancreatic amylase are present. In the small intestine walls, you can see the secretions of peptidases, sucrase, maltase, lactase, etc. And remember, the non-enzymatic juice that is secreted in our body is your bile juice, which is acting on the fat molecules, or which is acting on the complex lipids present in our body and breaking them into simple tiny fat globules. And this process of breaking of large or complex lipids into simple particles, it is called your emulsification. What is this word? Emulsification. Emulsification is a process where fat molecules are broken down into simplest forms in the presence of bile. Okay, so now after that, food is totally digested, and now that totally digested food, we are calling it as a chyle. So it is entering into the small intestine, truly small intestine. So now when you will observe the walls of the small intestine, this is your small intestine. So when you will observe the small intestine walls innerly, carefully when you will observe, you will find, like suppose this is the small intestine, small part. So now in the inner lining of this small intestine, children, when you will observe, yes, you will find some finger-like projections like this on the inner side of your small intestine. So these finger-like projections, we are calling it as a villi, or if it is a single villi, then we are calling it as a villus. So now this villi, it is richly supplied with capillaries. Like here if you will see, the outer layer of the villi, it is containing a layer of epithelium cells. Squamous epithelium cells are present here. So now inside that, if you will see, that complete villi, it is richly supplied with bed capillaries, so that food, whenever it is absorbed here, immediately it is uptaken into the bloodstream. Okay, so now here in the villi, the outer surface of the villi, if you will see, it is having some small hair like structures, cilia, we are calling them as a cilia, which helps in trapping the food material and absorbing that into the bloodstream. Okay children, so villi are nothing but the finger like projections that are coming out as an external outer growth in case of the small intestine, which are truly helpful in absorption of food material as they are richly supplied with blood vessels. Okay, so now after the small intestine, the complete digested food, it will enter into the bloodstream, but some of the undigested food material is present. Now such an undigested food material from the small intestine, it enters into the large intestine, travels all over the large intestine and stores in the rectum for few minutes, and then it is released out. So if you will see here, the inner walls of the large intestine, how they are present. So now in these inner walls of the large intestine, if you will observe, the inner walls are helpful in secreting, they are helpful in absorbing the excess water and minerals. It is helpful in absorbing excess water and minerals which small intestine cannot do. Now such a work it is done by the large intestine, which helpful in absorbing water and minerals and makes that living organism very healthy. So now in this particular large intestine, the canal part of the large intestine, if you will see, it is called your cesium, and the cesium, when it is coming down, it will swell up and forms a storage unit that is called your rectum. So now after this rectum, now it comes out through anus and it is eliminated out. Such a elimination of undigested food particles through anus, it's called your egestion. Remember this word egestion. Egestion, it is a word where the undigested particles are traveling all over the large intestine and they are attacked, they are eliminated from there. Such a process we are calling it as a egestion. Okay children. So now after this egestion, it is about nutrition in ruminants. So in this nutrition and ruminants, when you will observe carefully, yes, ruminants, first of all you should have an idea what are ruminants. So in our next class, we are going to learn about what are ruminants, what is the role of rumination in them, and how the rumination it is helpful to the plants, animals like your cattle, like cow, buffalo, goat, all these animals. Okay children, thank you so much.